Hi, my name is Joan Ranquet. I'm an animal communicator, author, TEDx speaker, and founder of Communication with All Life University. Our school is a program, has programs to teach animal communication, energy healing, and we have wildlife trips. But what I really wanted to talk about this minute is the shelter project. We have an outreach department in the school, and it includes sanctuaries, wildlife centers, all sorts of things. We want to make a big improvement in the world. We want to make a big contribution in the world. And we have a very giant broken heart over the shelter system and the rescue system. And so we have something called the Shelter Project, and it has three parts to it. One is a book that a number of the teachers in the school have written, another is an educational brochure, but the big one is called the Shelter Project, which is the trained individuals from the school, the graduates and the teachers, and myself going into shelters and doing something called EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, along with animal communication, in order to improve the lives of the animals that are sitting in the shelter or rescue or foster this minute. And let me back up and explain what EFT is. So, EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, is a technique of tapping, which is tapping lightly on acupressure points that are specifically for calming. And I want to talk to you a little bit about acupressure. So, acupressure can be calming, it can be tonifying, it can be stimulating, but the particular points in this sequence are calming. And what I like to say is that we're telling a challenging story while tapping on feel good points. So once we've done an animal communication session, we understand what's going on for the animal. Then we do the EFT tapping with the animal. And I will have to say that just about every animal that I've done this with has been adopted. And I've been personally doing this for 12 years in shelters and rescues. And then we started this with the Little Traverse Bay Humane Society in Michigan. And they're the pilot project. And we have a continuing pilot project until we get everybody adopted. And we also work with the staff and volunteers because we know that there's a lot of compassion fatigue. And I wanted to talk a little bit about why we are doing this. You know, the people that come to my school or people out there in the world, so many of us, I mean, I think everybody's born with an empath heart. And at different levels, we've had to shut it down. But when you're an animal empath, that's next level. And you can't even stand to hear about an animal suffering. So the idea that there is this, what I would refer to as genocide going on because we can't find enough homes, sends me over the edge. And it sends everybody I know over the edge. And on top of it all, when you bring in the helplessness then that we all feel, and the idea that we can't go in there because we're going to cry a million tears, there's a certain point where we have to go, if I want to make a difference, then I've got to get over it. Not, I'm never going to get over it, but I need to put my mission in front of my feelings. And then I need to have some tools to go in and help. And the tools of animal communication combined with EFT is next level. And then if we could include it with some of the great things that are happening in shelters right now, like the play groups and acupressure or massage or chiropractic or all the other things, I think we're going to save the world. One of the things I love to look at is, in particular, the unadoptable animals. And again, the success rate is crazy off the charts. I'll just tell you a little story about something that happened at Second Chance in Missouri. People asked me in a class to go in and tap on what they referred to this cat as the killer. And so she was in a room, and I brought like 12 people from the class into this room. She went out to the far end. I did this technique without even touching her because I knew that, I'd be shredded and I didn't have like falcon wear. So I went ahead and tapped with her from afar. And She got adopted. Like, she'd been in that shelter for 2 or 3 years. Like, nobody saw that coming. They thought, oh, well, it's interesting she's doing that, but she got adopted. And the work at the Little Traverse Bay Humane Society, unbelievable. We got so many animals adopted, but we worked very specifically. We worked with the reactive. We worked with what I call exuberant, or sometimes exuberant can move into anxiety or pick me. And then you don't really see who the animal is. And then the timid are shut down. And then the overlooked. There was one guy that was overlooked. He'd had a surgery. And I think that sometimes people look at something, they read the card and they go, oh, he just had a surgery. Yeah, I can't afford that. Right. So we need to get the essence of who that animal is shining through, even with all the barking and the chaos and the or all the cats, clamoring. It who they are has to come through. And then it's also our responsibility. See, to me, this is ultimately a real people problem. And that's why part of the other part of this is all about education, because we have to take responsibility for what we've done. We've done this. And so the more we can educate people what a forever home looks like, the better the world will be. So, anyway, that's our mission, and I hope you'll join us.